just tinkling the ivories as I've been known to do from time to time. I'm Jono Bullard, and this is Cats Whiskers TV. Coming up on this week's show, we'll be looking back at a mixed weekend for the Panthers. We'll be discussing all the issues in the Elite League once again and looking ahead to the two games this weekend. But as ever, it's Paul Baum with the news.
I'm Paul Baum and this is the news. Blaze fans react calmly to disallowed goal. Wilson and Ferguson finally make up. And Devils fans are disappointed by Ozer's low-cost replacement. And that was the news.
Join me once again, there are of course Paul and Aaron. We're going to have a bit of banter about the weekend's game. So Belfast, not what we was expecting and not what we wanted really.
No, not really, but they are a top side, aren't they? So, you know, we can't take it for granted that we're going to win every game. They played the perfect road trip, didn't they, really? They played the perfect game. We didn't turn up, especially for the first period, and we got what some people would say we deserved in that first 20 minutes. So, yeah, not the best night, but it is only one game.
I thought quick start by the Panthers going ahead after, what was it, 24 seconds, but then Belfast really put us to the sword for the rest of the period. I thought their transition play and their odd-man rushes was excellent.
It was, yeah. I mean, you know, again, it's becoming a bit of a feature of the Panthers. They come out very hard, very early, get that early goal, but we didn't then maintain that momentum. We got hit by a lot of bit of indiscipline, a lot of penalties. I thought at times our passing was fairly sloppy. I lost count of the number of times we were putting the puck straight on a Belfast player's stick. And you play in a team like Belfast, who, yeah, like Aaron said, you know, they came with a perfect road game, soaked up all the pressure, hit us on the break. I think they probably had 4 chances in that first period and scored every one.
A lot of talk after the game about the performance of Andy Carson, who's a referee. I have my own views. But I'm not at all blaming him for the loss. I mean, I thought Belfast were the better team and deserved to win. But he does like to make himself the centre of attention, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think about refs, the less you say about a ref means that they did the better performance. If if that makes any sense. And the problem with Carson is we're always talking about him after every game that he refs. There's something that people want to talk about. I mean, yes, he didn't cost us the game, but the amount of penalties we got, and a lot of them were one after the other as well. So we spent so much time on the penalty kill, and that's going to take its toll eventually. And I don't know, like I say, it's not the best performance that I've seen from a ref. Probably not the worst either, but there you go. Because I think the worst one was by Carson as well. But there you go. Yeah, well, what can you say? You can't really say much about it, can you? Not the greatest performance from him.
Paul?
I agree. I mean, we've said it before, it's more Frank Carson than Andy Carson at times. And, that there's some of the things that he doesn't miss. I mean, I think with a lot of referees in this league, you look at what they call and think that's fair enough. But as with some, it's the things that don't get called that discombobulate you at times, and you're just mystified at why that. But to say that Carson lost us the game, it's myopic in the extreme. But so it's one loss. We just got to get up and move on.
Well, we got the opinions of a few fans after the game in the pub. Here's what they had to say. Adam, what do you think?
I thought I was quite disappointing, actually. I thought that we could have probably done a bit better tonight, and I think the players themselves know that. I thought they were a bit slow off the start. I thought we let Belfast get into the game again pretty quickly after we got our goal. It just seemed like we took a long time to get into the game, which was a bit strange given that there was so much riding on it and it was a top of the table battle. I really thought that we should have really been on the front foot, but we weren't for some reason, and obviously we found ourselves 4-1 down, and it took us quite a while to get back to 4-3, but there's still quite a lot of time left now to get back into the game. But it just seemed like we put so much into getting back into the game. You know, it seemed like it took ourselves out of it, and by the time it was 4-3, we had nothing left to give, and then obviously Belfast got a bit of a fluky goal, and then the game seemed to be up, and we didn't have anything to come back for. So, a bit disappointing, really.
How much of a blow do you think it is, considering we are still top, and even if we lose to Sheffield tomorrow, we'll probably still be top, but then it makes for a very interesting couple of months.
It does. I think tonight was a bit of a blip. I think Panthers fans shouldn't really get too worried about the fact that we've lost tonight, even though maybe the performance wasn't as good as we might have expected against Belfast, who probably are still our rivals for the championship. I think the key thing tomorrow will be that we compete, and obviously it's going to be a very important game tomorrow because of all the underlying tensions about Kelsey Wilson, and the fact that we kind of need to turn up and overcome the fact that we got quite badly beaten really in Sheffield over Christmas 9-4. So I think really what we need to do tomorrow is just lay down a marker that tonight was a bit of a blip, which that can happen obviously against teams that are good quality, but we need to set our stall out tomorrow and basically get back to the formula that we've used for the season so far, and get back to good offensive hockey, try and get out the lines and get them rolling, and basically put one over the Sheffield Steelers, because obviously they're coming into a bit of form at the moment, and we want them to try and realise that Panthers are a real key opponent to getting the league title.
Thanks for your time as ever.
Thank you.
Moving on to Steelers game on Sunday, Aaron and myself did Cats Whiskers TV overtime. If you've not seen it yet, go and watch it now. It's very good. Well, hang on. Yeah. Right. I hope you enjoyed that. You enjoy that?
I thought it was all right. Just thought there was just something missing.
Yeah, well, you choose not to go.
Serves you right.
Yes. We've had 24 hours to reflect on the game.
Yep.
Any different thoughts from last night?
Not necessarily, no. I mean, like I mentioned on the overtime, we just did a professional job on Sheffield. You know, obviously with what happened the previous night against Belfast, which we've talked about, we needed the 2 points, and how we got them, it didn't really matter. We just needed the 2 points, and we just did the simple things. We blocked shots. We had shots on goal. I thought Kowalski, you know, from the previous time that we was there, we said he didn't have the best game. I thought he made some really good saves. I know, you know, they're talking about on Twitter about the one that Phillips had, and he just stretched out his leg. Great save, and that could have changed the game at that point as well. So no, I just think we did a professional job on Sheffield. Sheffield tried to, you know, Sheffield did what Sheffield do. They try and get in your faces, try and put you off your game, and we didn't let that happen. We were focused. We did all the things that we needed to do, and we got the 2 points.
So we benefited from an early goal by a bad mistake by John DeCaro behind the net again. 56 again. It's that early goal. 56 seconds in, we get the goal, get the momentum, and yeah, they equalise. We go ahead, we equalise again, and then pull ahead at the end. So, you know, will this probably jumpstart the rest of the season for us?
You'd hope so. I mean, yeah, from what I've heard and read about the game, it was a it was a bit of a 50-50 game, but it usually is in Sheffield. But yeah, I mean, we've got to use it, like you say, as a jump start, as a springboard for the rest of the season. You know, we looked at this weekend as being a very difficult one, playing the two of the top three teams, and 2 points. I'm happy with 2 points. I'm happy with it. I'll take that. Mm. 4 would have been nicer, 3 would have been nicer, but you don't always get what you want, and we can't look back and say, oh, it would. Oh, if only this shot had gone in, that shot had gone in. Belfast probably thinking if only Jordan Fox hadn't scored with his face. But, so we've just got to keep going forward now. Those are gone. We've got 2 points. I'm happy with that. It means Belfast are a bit closer, but like I think we were saying last week, probably the week before that, we've just got to keep doing what we're doing, let everybody else worry about what they're doing.
I think for me, the good thing is that when we lose a game, we don't tend to lose 2 on the trot. No. It's always we haven't been doing. We did earlier in the season. I was looking back. I've done my research. Looking back, I think it was October the last time we lost 2 on the bounce. Yeah. When we lose, we tend to then win the next few games before we lose again. It's not as if we're losing a block of games, which would hurt our chances more, I think. But that's just my opinion for what it's worth. The fight, though, obviously, it was probably something was going to happen with Kelsey Wilson after what happened. I mean, he deserved to have to go toe to toe with someone after what he did, and I was glad to see it was Ferguson who went toe to toe with him.
Yeah, I think people have mentioned that they had a little word in the first period. Maybe I think to say, look, we're going to do this at some point, and I think it was quite good that it was at the end of the game. It wasn't, at the start, so it didn't ruin it and it didn't set up anything for the rest of the game. But fantastic fight. Glad that they had their fists and punches. It's put to bed now, isn't it? But just on the fight, my theory is, if you watch it, and I know there's a video going around YouTube, that basically Wilson's punching and Ferguson's still got his helmet on. But Wilson hasn't. And to be fair, they both land some good punches, but as soon as Ferguson's helmet comes off, he buckles. So I think that proves that Wilson is the tougher guy. And I would say, Ferguson started the fight better and certainly got in at the beginning more punches.
He did cut him.
He did, yeah. Which you can clearly see on the photos. But I would say slightly, I'd say Wilson win towards the end.
I mean, you've seen the fight on YouTube. Yeah, according to some. Yeah. But I mean, the way, well, yes. But the way they were throwing, this wasn't no hug fest. I mean, the way they were throwing punches, it's a wonder it wasn't like a crime scene on the ice.
It was. I mean, it reminded me of was it Darcy Lowe and Derby Walker.
There's a video. There's a video of that. There is a video of that on YouTube. Put in Darcy Lowe and v Derby Walker on YouTube. It is phenomenal.
Anyway, yeah, that's my thread gone, isn't it? Yeah. It was a good fight. Back to you, Jono.
We managed to get another opinion on the fight. Our fight correspondent, Student's little brother, is what he had to say.
Good fight. Wilson won. Ferguson started well, but then sort of dropped off, and Wilson threw some really hard punches right at the end. And next time, Ferguson, pop your lid.
Thoughts of little brother there. Have you remember what you were going to say?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think what I was trying to say was that the onus in that situation was always going to be on Ferguson. It's in their barn. The fans expect something. He was in a situation where, I think he had to do it, because if he didn't, then it would look definitely as though Wilson had won. And, he won the fight, but he did. But so he had to do it. I mean, at the end of the day, Wilson's done what he's done. He's served his penalty. But, if they wanted any retribution, it had to be then.
And I think I got a lot of respect for Ferguson, actually, for standing up and doing it, because I don't think he's renowned as a fighter.
No.
And Wilson's a big, hard unit and a decent fighter, so I think fair play, bit of respect for Simon
definitely,
Ferguson for doing
for
that.
both of them. You know, they didn't shirk away from it. It was a little bit impromptu though, weren't it? The fight.
It was. It just seemed to start, didn't it? No, you just thought, oh, right, 2 minutes to go, here they go.
Exactly, no, fair play to both of them. They didn't shirk it, and you know, like I say earlier, it's all done and dusted now, and hopefully both people can move on.
Yeah, I mean, today, last night, the reports from the game, Ryan Finnerty saying that he was unhappy because he felt that our third goal shouldn't have stood. We said it on overtime. Have you watched it yet? Go and watch it. That we didn't see any. I mean, and I genuinely didn't see anything. No.
There's reports out there, isn't there? That's something to do with, was it Thomas? I think they said in.
Thomas was on the. I saw him on the floor after we scored. I didn't know what had happened. I saw their bench going mad. You obviously think something.
I know what had happened. What? He dropped his 50-50 tickets.
But no, I didn't see what happened. Obviously, you know, Finnerty's not very happy about it. What can you do? You know, it's just one of those things, isn't it? These things balance them up over the season.
Oh, well, they've certainly scored plenty of dodgy goals in their history that have been allowed to stand. And he's right, you say they do even out.
That's it, you know, and it's the same thing. You've got Paul Thompson down in Coventry taking to Twitter probably the minute after the restriction was in place.
I must admit, there was one thing he put that I didn't like from it. It was, one rule for one and one rule for another. I'm sorry, Tomo, that's rubbish. But
it is. I mean, and like Aaron was saying, you know, this is sport. These things happen. You know, that they've scored dodgy goals, we'll score dodgy goals. And I think it's very easy in a situation like that to start blaming the referees. You know, I mean, all right, we've all sat there and had a rant about referees, and sometimes it's justified. I mean, I think the point a lot of people have been trying to make about like Coventry last night is that Hicks never went to the goal judge, never went to the linesman to ask them. You know, and you've got those resources there, so you should be using them. Yeah. You know, I mean, there's a lot of talk about video replays. I mean, we had somebody tweeting, you know, it was about that as a topic tonight, and look, this is the Elite League. There's not a huge amount of money there. I mean, the idea is all games are supposed to be recorded. Yeah. Whether they are or not, I mean, obviously, they are. Okay, but then having the video replay facility as well is going to cost. And
well, let's face it, the Premier League, the supposed richest, best football league in the world, they don't have video replays, much to the detriment of it, I must admit. But you know, if the Premier League aren't having video replays, then I don't think the Elite League can. However, I can understand the Coventry fans' frustration because there is still pictures. I've seen them on Twitter today, which clearly shows the puck over the line. But you know, these things appear on social media. It's seen again and again. It's had time to be reviewed. My Clicks gets one shot at looking at that, and mistakes can be made.
That's a still image, isn't it? There has obviously been clicked at the right time, properly several clicks to get the whole motion of it going in from the shot. Like you say, Hicks gets a blink of a thing, and I'm pretty sure he said that he didn't see it. So if he didn't see it, he can't give it. Yes, you could then, you know, argue, well, he should go to his linesman, should go to the, you know.
I mean, I believe the goal judge put the light straight on, so surely I think his mistake is probably not going and having a conversation with the goal judge.
Well, then, fair enough, that's what it is. But these people are human and they're under a lot of pressure. They don't really get much help out there, let's be honest. So they're going to make mistakes, but there's not much you can do about it, and people are going to get frustrated like we would if it happened to us. Of course we are, but until the Elite League as a whole look at this and, you know, whether they need to improve training for refs, help refs out again, these mistakes, which they are mistakes, they're not done on purpose, are gonna occur, and all we can sort of hope for is that over a season they even out. And every team, it happens to every team, and they get the benefits and the negatives from them all, you know, throughout a season.
I think this leads on to another question we had on Twitter from Mark Hitchcock, which was saying, what idea should the EIHL steal from another UK sporting league?
You You'll come to me first, wouldn't you? Well, there's any number of facetious answers to that, most of which Aaron will tell you in a minute. But I think I'm not. Yeah, how long is it this week? I don't know. I mean, we've tried gimmicks, which 2020. I mean, I can see the point of 2020 in cricket. Cricket's normally a slow game. People go, "Oh, it's boring." But ice hockey, isn't it? It's fast, exciting sometimes, although I've been in any number of boring games. Sport that doesn't necessarily need things. But I think what it would be nice to look at, nice to bring in, is some sort of, of transparentness. Transparency, that's the word. And because there's there's a lot of. I mean, we're fans. We're not supposed to know everything, but it feels at times like there are people who want us to know nothing. I mean, I'd say what we could have: a rule book that everybody knows where to go and find and look at, and is there. And say, these are our rules. This is what they're doing. Why isn't it there? I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good one. I mean, Aaron.
No, I think Paul's spot on with what he says there. And the only thing I would say, it seems that this season strides have been made to make the Elite League stronger and better and more open, so people, feel the transparency is there. It's obviously it's going to take time. It's going to improve anything nowadays in any sport. You need money, and look how much money, if we're talking football, the Premiership has compared to what the Elite League has. If we're going to get anywhere near that kind of level, it's going to take money and it's going to take time. And like I say, it seems that the Elite League have taken a few strides this season. So let's just hope that progresses throughout the years to come.
I think what I'd like from another sport is PDC Darts marketing department. Because look at
what everybody plays at one end. How's that going to work?
I said the marketing department. Well, look at darts, right? Darts was a pub game played in just like smoky halls and things like that. They've totally revolutionised the game. It's played in packed arenas. Yeah. I mean, I've been down to the NIC when the darts is on. I mean, you can't see the board. You're relying on the screen, but it's the atmosphere you go for, and it's fantastic.
Don't you think that is the atmosphere though as well? And not going back, but Saturday night's game against Belfast, the atmosphere was flat. It was, and
last night as well.
But you're in Sheffield there. There's no atmosphere there ever. But from the darts,
right to him.
No. Look, there, the cat's Whiskers. That's
Chris.
But from the darts, the whole thing about darts now is the atmosphere. People have a drink, they have a laugh, and it's a night out. Now, some nights like that at hockey are that, but just touching Belfast quickly, if you can't, as a member of the crowd, get up for a game against Belfast, who are your nearest rivals in a game that is, that tight, then what game are you going to get up for? And surely, as people that went to that game, we have to look at ourselves and go, do you know what? Did we help out the team?
Yeah.
When it's a bit. Yeah, they didn't play great, but did we, as the crowd and as the home side in such an important game, play a part? And I think that's where going back to the darts.
And I think Paddy made the same point as well earlier. And obviously, as an away fan, he said we had a power play in the final period. It's like, where's the noise? Yeah. We needed that lift and we didn't get it.
But by the same token, Nottingham's got, it's quite an old crowd. I mean, I've been going 32, 33 years. You're a bit less, and we're not necessarily the sort of the full flush of excitement that, say, Brayhead fans have got isn't going to be there. We're all a bit jaded. Now it's a bit impress us. I mean, you watch in that. I mean, everybody goes on about the arena's too quiet, but when we're away from home, we're really noisy. Yeah, that's because when we're away from home, we're concentrated. The ones who want to make noise are concentrated all in one block, and they'll encourage each other. When they sort of spread at various places all around the arena, you're not going to get that going. But you watch a Nottingham crowd, as soon as we've got a team that's going out there, that's hitting, even if we're not scoring, if they're going out there giving it their all, that 120% everybody asks for. If we're going out there, and hitting, and that, the crowd noise goes up. It's almost like, we've got to go out and it's impress us. So, and I think the team know that as well. The team have got to go out, because we come out, I think, into too many big games, too flat. And it's like, we're just, we're preparing for like it's a normal game. And we just, like Saturday night. I mean, yeah, we got the early goal, and after that, Belfast just steamrolled us. Because they were getting to things first. So, yes, the crowd do need to make more, but the team can't rely on the crowd.
Well, thanks to everyone who sent tweets into us this week. If you want to get in touch with us, we're on Twitter at CatsWhiskersTV. The address is on the screen now. Looking ahead to the weekend now, another couple of tough games. But first, Five Flyers on Tuesday night in the Challenge Cup quarter-final. Never an easy place to go to and get a result.
No. Talking of atmosphere, that's where
yes,
that's
definitely.
an atmosphere up there, isn't it? Yeah, it's going to be a tough game. Obviously, coming back off the weekend, travelling up today as we record this on Monday. I think the main thing is if we can come back with an advantage, great. But you just never know with Fife, do you? They've been playing well this season. Hopefully it'll be a good distraction, not in the league. The bit of pressure's off, obviously. This cup is a cup that we like to win, so it might be a good distraction. And going away as well, the journey up there, the lads can, obviously a bit of bonding while they're on the coach. So yeah, it should be a good game.
I think it'll be a difficult one. Sheffield have lost there, Belfast have lost there already this season. You certainly can't take it for granted.
No, you can't. And like I said, this is a cup that we want to, we enjoy winning. I mean, some people will tell you it's devalued, but silverware's silverware. It's a welcome distraction from the league, but you've got to keep that momentum going.
Absolutely. Moving on to the weekend, another tough weekend. Again, that conference rivals that we're playing. Coventry at home on Saturday. We'll look at that one first. We've won every game against them here so far this season, but they're a tough team, and it's not a gimme 2 points.
No, not at all. And they've had a few dodgy results of late, haven't they? And they seem a little bit wounded, shall we say? So they're going to come. They're going to want to come here and try and set the record straight, give us a performance. My only doubt about that would be is they've had so many injuries over the season, and they've had to put in so many grafting performances. With the results that they've had of late, is it just getting to the point where now they're just on the wind down? Unfortunately, that it's starting to take the toll, that the fact that players have had to do more shifts. I don't know, but beware of the wounded animal, they say, don't they?
Paul?
And they've got a lot of those players that have been injured coming back, which sometimes can have good and bad effects. As you've seen time and time again. I mean, those two results we had against them the other week. Okay, we won both games, but
they were warriors, both games.
Yeah. And you get that small numbers, so they know they've got to go out there and fight. So maybe the players coming in, bit of sloppiness creeps in. We can hope. We're not saying it will. I doubt it will, but sometimes it just doesn't do that. But I mean, basically, is there a way that we can just replace what we said last week and then just change the words? Because basically that's all we sort of do now. Is it? Yeah, it's always a tough game, difficult place to go. Yeah.
We just changed tops.
Yeah.
That's it.
Cardiff should be a doddle.
It's a tough game.
I don't mean that. I don't mean that at all.
It's a tough game. Just very quickly on Coventry though. Obviously Wilson's available for this game, which he wasn't for the previous game. So that within the toughness and stuff like that, maybe that'll have an effect. But
good point.
Going to Cardiff, it's always a tricky place to go to, isn't it?
It's a tough game. It's never an easy. However, of course, Philo's here went last week. Joe Myers is filling in, Matthew Myers' brother. They may not have an import netminder in for Sunday. They probably will, but they may not. That is obviously going to give us a better chance, with no disrespect to Joe Myers whatsoever, but and it's going to be better for them to have an import netminder in.
The way obviously it works, you're never going to, backup netminders, they're not going to be great, otherwise it won't be. Well, not I won't be great because that's disrespectful, but they're a backup netminder for a reason, aren't they? Yeah. No disrespect to any of them, because they're far better in net than I would be. So there you go. But this is his chance to shine, isn't it, Joe Myers? It must be a bit like Dan Green to stand there, on the bench every game, wanting to go out there. If he goes out there, the fact that it's against the Panthers, and obviously Matt is playing for us as well against brother, bit of rivalry there, he could step up to the plate. You don't know. These backup netminders, they have games in them. They can produce, fantastic games. So you don't know what you're going to get. But obviously, yes, I'm sure that Cardiff would prefer that they had an important netminder in there. It's another tough game, unfortunately, but they're coming thick and fast now.
I mean, there could be the argument that it can galvanise a team a bit, having the backup netminder, and the defence tightens up a bit. I mean, we've seen it happen before.
We have indeed, and I think one of the things that we do sometimes is we play down to a level of a team. We've got a team who. I think
that's the same for anyone, though.
Yeah,
I think,
It's just that we see it more often because it happens. But I mean, if a team's got starting with the backup in, they know what they've got to do. They've got to protect him because he's not as good as the number one. Otherwise, he would be the number one. So he's so that they're going to go in. They're going to be defending more. So we just got to find ways through it.
Well, I say another tough game in the big blue tent. It's never an easy place to go. Right, well, I think that's it for this week. Thanks, you two, once again. I'll no doubt see you next week when we'll be looking back on this weekend's game and the 5 games. Please keep your tweets coming in. The address is again on the screen now. We'd love to hear your feedback, good or bad, about the show, and anything you'd like us to discuss. But until preferably good, it has to be said. But until next time, goodbye. We didn't ask you. What would you like to take from another sport?
Financial fair play. You know what I mean, don't you, Simsy?